Hey everybody, it's me Zombie, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made my Rey costume from Star Wars. I got some old sweatpants and cut them into a pattern for my pants for Rey. You can do this with any old pants or ones that fit like Rey's. You can always modify them too. And then I just transferred that pattern to my pants fabric, and now I'm just sewing everything up. Here are the pants all done. I just added some elastic on the waist and around the legs, and they fit pretty much just like hers. Now it's time to dye, and by dye I mean I need to dye my wraps that go around me as Rey. So I'm gonna get some taupe dye, add a cup of salt to some hot water I have in my stainless steel sink. And since I have so much stuff to dye, I am going to be using both sides of my sink. So I'm gonna put a half cup of salt in each side. Then I'm going to pour approximately half the dye in one side and half the dye in the other side. Here is my fabric that I'm using as the wraps. I'm just keeping it in here, kind of swishing it around. I really only kept it in here for about 10 minutes compared to the 30 minutes that they suggest. It's because I'm going for a much lighter color. I also kind of wanted to get like a dirty kind of gradient look to it. Here is draft 1 of my belt. It's obviously way too thick here, and I also went a little bit too crazy with the heat gun and burned some stuff. I was trying to do weathering, but it's supposed to be leather. It just doesn't look good, so I ended up trashing it. I used the same method for patterns on this shirt. I just got an old shirt, cut it, sewed it, and now I'm just weathering it with some acrylic paint. It kind of looks like oil splotches or dirt that's been stained in, and this will actually dry a lot lighter than it is. Okay, working on my bracelet leathery thing. I just made it out of foam, and it looks real dopey right now, but after it's treated, it's gonna look a lot like leather. To kind of make foam look leathery, I actually just get some tin foil, I heat up my foam. Here I'm using the iron, but I also end up using my heat gun, which ends up working a lot better. And I just kind of heat up the foam, scrunch up that tin foil, and kind of just dab it on top of the foam. And it kind of makes it look, a little bit rougher and more like leather. Here are my shoulder wraps that are all dyed and dry. Now I'm kind of puckering up the fabric around the shoulder, just how it looks in the movie. I'm just using a thread and needle by hand to do that. I'm tying off the fabric just to keep all of it together and puckered how I want to, as I use my thread and needle to sew it. This process takes a little while, so I'm going to speed it up. Ta-da! All done. Here's me kind of trying on the wraps just to see how they're going to end up fitting. Looks kind of right. Here's my bracelet all plasti dipped, and you can really see the tin foil treatment on it really pop. Okay, now for my arm wraps. I'm going to be using the same fabric as I did for my wraps and just cutting it into a bunch of strips. And that's to get that wrapped around your arm look without having to worry about it falling off or getting all misshapen on your arm. I'm gonna keep sewing this, but you guys stay tuned for part 2 while I keep working on Rey. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with the progress. Bye! Adam, what are you doing?
Playing Bloodborne. Putting on a lot of music.